Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else, and lock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we are talking about stability in relationships. And the reason why I wanted to talk about the stability in relationships is because we get into relationships and we don't set those fundamental or those foundational expectations that we need. And I know that most women out here are seeking stability. Okay, so before we get into it, let me just tell you our mission statement. Our mission statement is we are building a community of both men and women who are on a journey of self-love and self-healing. Okay, and we do recommend that if any of these topics are a little bit too rough for you and you need to speak to somebody, we always recommend that you go to therapy, because therapy is good. You need somebody that will sit there and listen to you and talk to you and give you an unbiased opinion about what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis and emotional basis. Okay. We have biblical principles because I'm a believer, and I use those things that's able to keep me in line, my mind, my mental state, and everything, my heart posture correct. So that's why I really hone in on using biblical references. Now, before we get into anything, like we always do, we are going to share, and share again, okay? So I am going to share because it is time to hear about it. I hope y'all doing good tonight. I hope y'all are doing great tonight. I'm just sharing. This is the segment of the show where I share to everywhere, to all of my groups and everything, because guess what? Everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to know what stability in a relationship is. And we need to know from a male's point of view as well, because it's not just about us. It's not it's not what we think, and that's it. So we're going to get to the root of it. Hello, whoever's online, please chime in. If you don't want to chime in, that's fine. You don't have to. But this is the segment of the show where I share. And people will come in later. And I'm going to start. I'm almost done. Hey, Snap. Hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you tonight? We are sharing this broadcast. Stability in relationships. So please share if you're on here. Share. And I am almost done with sharing. You good? You shared? Okay, share. So did you share? Did you share? Because I'm sharing. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I have some good information tonight. Great information tonight. I'm still sharing, y'all. So because I want everybody to understand what this stability is about, right? All right. So, I wanted to start off by communication. It's about communication, right? When you first get with somebody, the steps to build a stable relationship should begin with um with communication. Communication. I'm just sharing, guys. One moment. All right, so I'm done. All right, so communication is the key, one of the keys, rather, because of course there are three things that make up a relationship, right? And those three things, well, from my bishop's point of view, he said those three things was communication, sex, and finances. All right. But when I looked it up, it said intimacy, which he said that, right, with sex. You may think of the sexual aspect of a relationship when you hear the word intimacy, but this relationship building block covers so much. So, intimacy, commitment, and the last but not least is communication, right? So, remember when you were younger, and maybe I'm aging myself, right? But remember when you were younger, right? And you liked a person, right? You would send them something like this. Do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe, right? And things were so much simple then because you like somebody, you approached that somebody, and everything was everything, right? Nowadays, it's not so simple, right? Yes, yes, now check the box, right? So, and I never put the smiley faces or anything like that, but do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe. And when you put those boxes up, you expect to get your answer. It's simple, it's nothing, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand these things, right? Because the question is asked, there's no thought process of, wow, well, what does he mean by do I like him? It was just so much simple. And like Lauryn Hill said, it was all so simple, right? It was all so simple back then when you could just check the box and now you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and then y'all learn each other from then, right? Y'all like each other, y'all been around each other, y'all check the box and call it a day. But now that we live in the world of cell phones and text messages, right? We get more text messages and less conversation, right? And with the less conversation, and also you may get more conversation in a text message, but you don't really know the feelings or the emotions behind the text message because you are reading it in the thought process and in the mindset on which you are, right? So say that you say that you're angry, right? And you receive a text message. You're automatically going to read that email or that text message angrily. Okay, you're gonna read it like thinking that somebody is actually coming at you when it's only just because of your own emotions. So back in the day, I remember I used to get in trouble for I used to get in trouble for being on the phone, right? Because phones were not unlimited. So they I used to run up everybody's phone bill that I was at, whether I was at my grandmother's house or my nana's house or my own house. I would run up a phone bill, right? just chatting on the phone, because that's how you got to know people. But people nowadays like to text, right? But that cuts off the getting to know you stage in the aspect of hearing the emotion behind the words and understanding the context of which the person is speaking in, right? So I looked up um, an article, and one of the articles that I found was that it was this TikTok guy, right? And he went viral off of one person, something that an older woman told him when he was growing up, right? About relationships. So whenever he gets into a relationship, these things goes back, comes back to his remembrance. So it says the TikToker shares the best dating advice he received from an older woman. A TikTok user is drawing praise after passing down some dating advice from an older generation. The TikToker named Tyler posted this video in late July. The clip was a response to another user's post about the relationship between texting and dating and all the anxiety that connection can cause. Tyler proceeded to offer the best dating advice he'd ever received. He added that despite the fact that the advice felt extremely modern, it actually came from an older woman. Honestly, the best dating advice I ever came from a boomer who was telling me about how before all the digital technologies that we're native on, how did they discern if someone liked them or not? Okay? So we know now. Hey, Tinge. So we know now, right, that people just come out and say, hey, you look good. Hey, you're sexy. Hey, this and that. But they can't tell you what they like about you, because guess what? They don't know you, and they don't take the time to get to know you to tell you that they like you. You understand what I mean? So we have to really take the time. It goes back to friends before lovers, right? We have to be friends before lovers in order for us to have a decent foundational relationship. Okay, your foundation can be built on sand or it can be built on solid ground, right? Where they pour the concrete in and everything is everything and it can stand. But if you don't allow yourself to get to know the person through communication. So, Tange, look at this. You remember this? Do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe, right? Remember that, Tange? So, we're talking about how people approach people nowadays opposed to how it was when we were younger. We kept it simple. We knew when a person really liked us because they showed interest. And this TikToker talked about how he received some of the best advice from an older woman, because this texting age really takes away from really getting to know somebody, because you read you you remember that? Yes. Hi Dee. Hi. So, but so when you're texting, right? Say you're upset. Say you're upset and you get a text message. Do you find yourself reading the text message and the emotion that you're in currently when you receive that text message? You know what I mean? It's harder. With this, you knew the drill. You knew what was up. You knew, do you like me? Yes, no, maybe, right? We even did stuff like this because that is stuff that we we did to learn from each other. We would pick this and we would learn certain things, right? Hey D, yes, it was simpler back then, and it was. So now it's so complex that we have to read deeper into text messages. People have social anxiety and may not know how to speak to somebody, so they'd rather hide behind text, or they don't know how to respond, so they'll text. Now, I'm not a big texter. And the reason why I'm not a big texter is because of the simple fact that you don't know exactly what mood or in what context I'm saying certain things. So we're on the segment of communication, the part in the stability of a relationship, because there's three parts, as we know and as we discussed: intimacy or sex, commitment, and communication. Now, I think that there's so many people now that have commitment phobias, okay? And I think that at one point I had a commitment phobia. I think. I don't know, and maybe not. I think that I've wanted it so bad that I just accepted things, right? But when you don't have those three things that are set to make a relationship work: intimacy, commitment, and communication. Okay? Now, what makes a relationship last? The couple's bond can be described as deep, comfortable, and caring. Research demonstrates that the happiest, most long lasting couples are best friends. They enjoy each other's company, rely on one another for emotional support, spend their leisure time together, and share many things in common. Now, we get with people and we don't even know what they like. That's why we put up our dating application, right? Because we need to know certain things about the people that we're dating. We need to understand them a little bit more. We need to know where they're coming from, right? And shoot, nowadays we need to do background checks just to make sure they say they are who they say they are. You know what I mean? So we want to make a relationship last. But what are the hindering factors that can stop a relationship from going through to become a healthy relationship? You have a lack of honesty, a lack of trust, a lack of respect, no open communication between the partners, and everybody takes each other for granted. There's no compromise, there's no give, there's no understanding. Those are all the things that can make a relationship go downhill very quickly, right? But the things that can make it stabilize is honesty, which we talked about with the core values, right? Honesty, trust, respect, open communication between partners, and the effort and compromise from both people. There is no imbalance in power. No one is bigger than the other, even though the man is the head and the protector and the provider. And I think that that's one of the things that women really want in a relationship, is that protection and that provider. And you have women out here that can take care of themselves, right? But they want that protection. They need somebody that can be in their corner, that they can go and cry on their shoulder when they have a bad day. When they say, oh, guess what? This happened and it was so fun. You want to have that person with you, right? But if you are not honest with yourself or with your partner, it ain't going to happen. If your partner cannot trust you as far as they can throw you, it's not going to happen. It really isn't. And that's the tough part, when you want to put all your ducks in one row and you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, I want to be with this person. This is what I'm going to do. And then you get with a person that's not on the same wavelength or on the same channel that you are on. What do you do then? You get out of Dodge, right? Or do you make it work? What do you do? If you feel, do you fight for something? If you feel like you've done all that you can do you fight for it? or do you leave it alone? Now, in the beginning stages, and this is my problem, and this is what I found out on my wives club, is that I have no patience and I hate waiting, right? So I have to learn patience. What are the things that you have to learn that will be the most beneficial for you to be in a relationship? A lot of times people don't want to give up their selfish ways. This is who I am. This is what I do. And that's it. And that's all. But hold up now. Where's the compromise? Where is the give and take? You know, today we'll do something that you like to do. Tomorrow we'll do something that I like to do. Where's that give and take? It's everything is, oh, I like it like this. There cannot be no control in a relationship, a healthy relationship. You have to, there has to be some give, right? So if I know that I have to work on patience in my relationship, what are the things that you have to work on in your relationship for it to make it a healthy relationship? What do you think? That y'all, just to give me some feedback. You understand what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know that me, myself, and I have an issue with patience. I don't have no patience, especially if I've talked and I talked and I've given chance after chance and time after time after time and time after time. After that, patience runs out, right? Patience runs out. It's there's 0 0 on the stop clock. There's no more time to give. And it's snip snip for me. Because if I give my all and it's not received, okay, then I gracefully bow out and I take my time, my energy, my effort away and find something to put my effort in. What are the things that you need to work on to make a healthy relationship? I just want to know that. Because sometimes we get in our own way. Not sometimes. For the most part, the people that are single or and consecutively single and not single on purpose, because there's some people that are single on purpose. They want to be single on purpose. They're not ready. They're trying to get themselves together, this, that, and the third. But what about the people who want to be in a relationship but can't get in a relationship or can't keep one? And I had to self-evaluate on that one as well. And I realized that I didn't have enough give in me, right? And I didn't know how to shift. I didn't know how to incorporate somebody else's life and what they had going on in their life into my life, you know, and that's not a foundation for a healthy relationship, because you have to have that time, that effort, and that energy that you want given to you, given back to other people, right? So what do? You shift, right? We talked about this, what, in June or May, about the shift, the big shift, and not resisting the shift. Stability is an all-time high as far as, especially nowadays. Guess what? We are in, we have all of this inflation going on. People need to, two is better than one, as the Bible talk about, right? And people need roommates now. Are you gonna get with a person or stay with a person because you need a roommate? Like, who does that? Where y'all doing that at? You know what I mean? If you're gonna get a roommate, get a roommate. Don't get a person to be a placeholder for you, a placeholder for the person that you're waiting for. You understand what I mean? Like, we put people in categories in our lives, and we think that we're gonna have a stable relationship, but we can't even be honest with the people that's in our lives. I can just keep going on and on and on and on. But I'm not. Let me go on ahead. So one of the questions um, that I saw was, what are some handy tips to help you build a stable relationship? So one of the tips is both of you should be stable people individually, meaning stable emotionally, because I looked up emotional stability, right? And the definition of emotional stability is that you can withstand difficult situations, you can handle adversity, and remain productive and capable throughout. Some people get to a certain point in their lives when they realize that they are not as emotionally stable as they would like to be. So we think that we can handle certain things, especially when it comes to our relationships, but come to find out we really can't, because our emotions are not stabilized enough for us to handle it in a productive way. We counterproduct produce or product what's the word? Product we counteract it with negative emotions opposed to understanding difficult situations and handling adversity with cool, with understanding, and with um, the understanding of knowing that you're going to get through it. Like, you have to be optimistic when facing adversity, right? And you have to have, both people can't be going crazy. Like, if you go through something and you're going through a problem in your relationship, it can't be two people that's losing their cool. One has to be level-headed. One has to be able to handle it. You understand what I mean? Whether you're a male or a female, it's not a gender-based thing as far as who should be the emotionally stable one to handle adversity. No, it's whoever can handle it with a stable mind to get through the situation. Okay? Emotionally stable couples know that their emotions will lead them astray just as often as they will help. As a result, they are careful to never take orders from their feelings. Did you get that? Hey, Tifa Teef, how you doing? Welcome back, boo. Welcome back. I know I haven't seen you in forever, ever. But it says they are careful to never take orders from their feelings and instead always verify them against their principle. And I like that. I like that it says that we never should take orders from our feelings, because our feelings get us in trouble all the time. That's why the Bible says to be sober minded, to not be moved by what you see. You understand what I mean? The things they know to be right and true and genuinely important. This is what emotionally stable couples do. They know that their emotions will lead them astray just as often as they will help, but they're careful not to take orders from their emotions. So it says, a good sign of emotional stability is if someone regularly keeps their commitments, whether that's handing in work on time, actually showing up to events they've said they'll attend, or playing in group sports. All of those things. The person struggles to regularly show up to things, then maybe they're not so committed. This is all a part of the stability process. Maybe they're not so committed. When they say, oh, yeah, I'm coming, and never show up, they are not committed. They're not there. Their emotional state is not stable in that relationship because they can't keep their word. They lie. They say one thing and mean the other. You can't do that, right? Especially if you're trying to build a solid and stable relationship. You can't lie. Don't lie, because then it's built on sand, a sand full of lies. You understand what I mean? It says emotional stability is a fundamental personality trait that has to do with being even tempered, particularly in the face of challenges and threats. So one has to be the emotional basket case and the other one has to be the level-headed one. You can't have two basket cases and then you won't have, and then if you have two level-headed ones, I guess that's good too, but it might be a tad bit boring. You understand what I mean? So, okay. So the basis of everything is that if we have our communication together and we are committed to the commitment, okay? Because I know I run from commitment. Like when I get real close, I'm a self-sabotager, but I'm also one that tries to look for the signs to say, is God giving me an avenue of escape? You understand what I mean? I'm always that person like, should I do this? I don't know if I should do this. So maybe that is a commitment phobia. But if if we say that we want a relationship, we have to want the commitment to the other person, the importance of their day, ins and outs, even, and this is not living together, but just the ins and outs, and allowing people, which is still part of the core value, the inclusion of people in your life. You know what I mean? We need to be included in a person's life. That helps a woman to stay stable in a relationship, when they're included, when they feel protected, where they don't feel like they are judged in any way, shape, or form. And guess what? I looked up stuff for what makes a man stable in a relationship, because I'm a woman. I know what I need. And not every woman needs the same thing, but I know what I need. So it says, what does it mean when a man says he wants stability? And it says men want stability. It means that they know who they are coming home to. Too many fights or arguments or inconsistencies will have them wondering who they are really committed to. Okay? So when they say that they want a relationship, that this is what they mean. They want that stability. They want to know who they're coming home to. They want to know who they're sharing their goals and their aspirations with as well. And we have to be open to listening to those things. So it says, now here's what emotional stability should look like. And when you're emotionally stable, your relationships should become emotionally stable as well. That's why I'm so in this vein, because emotionally, we allow our emotions to override logic, to override good sense or common sense, because we're mad, we're angry, we read a text message and we read it wrong. All of this bad communication, right? But when you have emotional stability, you can have better communication and things of that nature. But this is what it should look like. They're good at keeping their cool. They find the silver lining. They don't blame others for their emotions. They don't expect people to read their minds. They don't make rash decisions. They maintain healthy relationships. They can self-soothe and they can self-check. Okay? This is what emotionally stable-minded people look like. All right? So, if we want to know if a man is really serious, now, mind you, keep in mind that there are men who will sell you a pipe dream and don't really mean it, right? So, but when there's people who are really, really into you, right? These are the signs. And these are all for my single women. You know what I mean? These are the signs. He listens to you. Have you ever been involved with a man who didn't listen to you? Who didn't listen to the words that was coming out of your mouth? If a guy is serious about you, he will really listen and he won't take anything you say for granted. He makes future plans. He checks up on you. He helps you with any problem. He makes you a priority. That is the bell. He makes you a priority. You know when a man really wants you because he's there. No ifs, ands, buts about it. He does thoughtful things and he introduces you to his friends. It's all about those core values. Inclusion. Inclusion. So remember early in the show I was talking about how the TikToker was talking about the dating scene and the texting age and things of that nature. And the one thing that he said that he learned from a boomer, a baby boomer, was the fact that although they still couldn't read people's minds and they want to know, you're Rhino Bono? So silly. Oh, that's, yeah, yes. 7 signs that a guy is serious about you? Yes. Yes, Tange. But the man on the TikTok was saying that the boomer told him that there was always a level of overthinking, even back then before the texting time, where you would sit and overthink if a guy really likes you, even after receiving one of these, right? They still go in and they still overanalyze and overthink all of those things, right? But the main thing that helped them make a solid decision about who they are dealing with is when they talk to the person on the phone. Okay? When you talk to somebody on the phone and you really get to hear their heart. Now, if they're lying or if they're telling the truth, only time will tell, right? But at least you can hear the emotion. There's no assumptions. So that's why I hate text messages. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And we need to learn not to communicate like that. But we go with the signs of the times, right? But I hate it. I hate texting. I don't want to text. I want to speak to you. I want to learn. Okay? So that falls under the umbrella of the communication. We have to get our communication skills back together. And one of the things that Cynthia has said when she was on the show, she was talking about how when men tell you what they want, believe them. If they say they don't want any children, believe them. If they say they don't want to get married, believe them. But if they say, I want to get married and I'm looking for my wife, believe them. Like all of these things, still believe them. Believe what they're telling you because they're not lying unless they're only trying to get one thing and they're selling you a hope and a dream, or they're going in for that long con. You know what I mean? They trying to get, I don't even know what they're trying to get with the long con. Maybe you have money or whatever. But some people go through years of not really being or loving the person that they're with just to get what they want from that relationship. You have to make sure that when you enter into a relationship, because I've had good relationships and I've had bad relationships, right? And in all you're getting, you must get understanding, okay? In all you're getting, in order for things to change, acknowledgement and understanding must come into play. You cannot, if you have been with your partner for 5 years or more and you're still the same person that you was 5 years ago, then evidently there's something wrong there, because there should be growth. There should be maturation. You understand what I mean? There should be change in some aspect or some way. The love should be there. Now, of course, I can't dictate other people's relationships, and I've never been married. So who am I to say why people are happy or unhappy or whatever, whatever? But if you went into your marriage with the representative and not understanding that the representative can't hold up for so long unless you are a con artist doing the long con. Listen, I keep going around in circles, but I know that I'm talking something that maybe is for me. Now, y'all let me know in the comments, but I know that these are the signs that I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's more communicative, that will be able to express themselves in the way that I need them to express themselves, to give me that solid foundation, that security that I need, that I'm not in this by myself. Because I've been walking a mile in my shoes by myself. So who wants to feel like they're in a relationship but not getting the core value benefits for being in a relationship? We're not going to do that in the 2022. We're not going to do that. And if y'all trying to still do that, then by all means. But I know that me and maybe a couple other people are not trying to do that. So, not 6 tips on how to help you build a stable relationship. Both of you are stable people, mentally, emotionally. You disagree in a healthy manner. So it's not my way or the highway. It's not, do you hear what I'm talking about? Don't ever talk to your partner like that. I mean, they may still be with you, but that don't mean that they like you. And you want to be, if you want your partner to like you and to love you. You don't want your partner to always be rolling their eyes because they know that you're going to answer in an unhealthy manner. Okay? You both prioritize each other. And that's that inclusion, still core values. You express gratitude towards each other in small ways each day. So we had a singles forum at my church 2 weeks ago. And my first lady, she was trying to move this table, right? And so my sister and her friend gets up and they move the table. And first lady is like, oh, that table was heavy. And they was looking at her like it wasn't heavy. And then she moved the table, saw how light it was. She said, oh, I must be spoiled. Then this table ain't really heavy. And so she asked Pastor, before we moved the table, she had asked Pastor to bring her something, right? But she had another table, but when he brought the table, she said, oh, thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you, right? And she turned and she said, like, oh, wow. We need this table. We're going to use this table. Tim said, what? I talk junk to Ronald all the time. I know. I know you do. I know you do. Y'all, I mean, y'all are a different breed, Ted. Y'all know y'all a different breed because we're loud people. So we talk loud anyway. So y'all gonna get y'all point across and y'all gonna laugh it off and leave it alone and go on about your day. But it's people who don't do that. Okay? So what? And I heard you say, what? I talk junk to Ronald all the time. So silly. But even that, if that's a part of y'all love language in the way that y'all communicate with each other, then that's fine. Can't nobody on the outside judge you. But what I'm saying is that if the person on the inside of the relationship with you feels that way, then of course there needs to be a shift. And I'll say that because, like I said, I used to be very, very argumentative, very, very confrontational. Y'all do what y'all need to do. Y'all have a beautiful relationship that's open and honest, and y'all able to talk about anything and everything. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. If it blows up, it'll come back down. Y'all ain't going nowhere. You understand what I mean? Like, it's fine. But I'm talking about the people who are in relationships and their partner can't stand them because they have not changed, because they are just like, got you. Now he really teaches you patience. I need my Boaz to teach me some patience because me, hey, how you doing? Me, I need to learn patience. I really need to learn patience. I don't have no patience. I'm like Jay-Z, what I say? I have no patience and I hate waiting. I really do. But I know that in the long run, that if I want to be able to, hey Joy, how you doing, baby? If I want to be in a successful relationship, I have to have patience with my partner. I have to try to understand where they're coming from. I have to know that at the end of the day that it's not going to always be my way. I have to be able to compromise. And you always think that you can do all of those things while you're not having to do it. But once you get put in that arena, right, and your boundaries get tested, then that's when you really realize, like, oh, shoot, that's something that I really got to think about. That's really something that I need to work on. You understand what I mean? Because there's things that I can say right now that I'm like, no, I won't have no problem with it. And when it come up in my relationship, I'm like, I have a problem with this. You understand what I mean? Like, so to thine own self, be true, right? But if someone can actually point out and help you with the things that you lack in you because they have it in them, and you have the things that they need in you, then that is balance, right? It's equal give and take. We need that. We need that in a stable relationship. Commitment, communication, and intimacy. We need those things. If we don't put those things into play, it is just what it is. What up, Malcolm? What up, Malcolm? How you doing? So, at the end of the day, I haven't posted in a long time. I'm sorry. I was here last Sunday. I'm working. I was working, y'all. But I know that at the end of the day, um, if we really hone in on those conversations, have um those hard to have conversations and get to the nitty gritty, we can make sure. I did not forget about y'all, Joy. Don't do me. Don't do me. Ooh, don't do me like that. I did not. I really didn't. I've been working. Y'all know I've been working. But sorry, my people's yelling at me because I haven't been posting lately. But anyway, so it says you both prioritize each other. You express gratitude towards each other in small ways each day. You are deeply committed to the relationship, and there is a foundation of trust between you guys. So, regardless of anything, if your trust is not rocked, right? If you have your trust, and if you have your inclusion in your relationship, 9 times out of 10, the communication is good too because you trust one another, because y'all are each other's confidant, y'all are each other's best friend, and y'all are each other who each other runs to when you're in need, when you want to laugh, when you want to cry, when you're angry. That comrade, that companion. Okay. So stable relationships, okay? And if we're not in the relationship, this is not for people who are in stable relationships. This is not to give y'all any hey boo, how you doing, love? This is not to give people who are in relationships that is already established and y'all have that commitment and that honesty and that communication and that intimacy down pat. These are for people, this is for people who are single, who doesn't understand why they're single or why they keep going through the same thing over and over, expecting a different result because it's insanity, right? So, this is what we need in order for us to build a stable relationship. We need to. I know that's right, Malcolm. You said I am in a stable relationship with me. Okay, I'll leave and come back. I get that. And people, that's fine if you're comfortable with being by yourself. But if you are seeking to find a relationship, right? Those are the things that have to be in place. Y'all both have to have a stable mental and emotional capacity. You have to be emotionally stable. You can't just be your emotions, you allow your emotions to go all crazy and all wild. No, you have to have somebody that's level-headed. You disagree in a healthy manner. You both prioritize each other. I'm not single. I have the greatest of God's creations. Oh, looking. Don't make me blush on camera, Mr. Lambert. And you express gratitude towards each other in small ways each day. You are deeply committed to the relationship, and there is a foundation of trust between you. I keep saying that because trust is really, really big. You said, oh, sookie now. So silly. What does a stable relationship need? Okay, so Malcolm said, but you know what? I've been married practically all my adult life except for the last 3. I get it, and I understand that. I totally understand that. Look at my nosy sister. Look at my nosy sister. Eyeballs. But it says healthy relationships involve honesty, trust, respect, and open communication between partners, and they take effort and compromise from both people. There is no imbalance of power, okay? So it's give and take. I said that already. I'm sorry. I might be repeating myself because it's people coming on. So these are the things that make it unhealthy, okay? And I think I said this too, but I'm going to say it again. Dishonesty. Trust is the root of a thriving relationship. Let's get to the root of it, guys, right? Controlling behaviors, okay? We don't need no narcissists. We don't need those people that just want to be controlling and want to rule everything and don't want to be ruled or controlled. Like what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Avoidance. Addressing conflict head on is always nerve-wracking, and most people struggle to navigate different conversations. So I know that I wonder if I'm avoidant. Do y'all think I'm avoidant? Come on, y'all. Really, guys? Really? Do y'all believe that I'm avoidant? I don't know. Sometimes I could probably avoid. Just walk away. Because conflict, I'd rather not, because then I'll get more mad and want to fight, and that's why I'll walk away. Insecurity and codependency. Now that word codependency, last week I realized that there was certain things in my life that I was codependent on that I have to cut the ties on. And the reason why I have to is because I'm blocking myself from obtaining the things that I need in my life that deserves and that is supposed to be in my life. I cannot hold on to something that was supposed to be let go of. How can you allow the new to enter in if you hold it on to the past things? Like the Bible says, you cannot pour new wine in old skin. You can't. You just can't. It'll bust. You understand what I mean? You can't renew something but keep the same thing. The same cycle is just insanity. We're trying not to be insane in 2022. You feel me? I know that I'm not. I'm not gonna be insane. So we're gonna nix the codependency. We're gonna nix the insecurity. We're gonna nix the avoidance and the controlling behavior and the dishonesty and the trust, the non-trust factor. We're gonna do away with resentment. We're gonna do away with disrespect because mutual respect is a cornerstone of all successful relationships. Resentment grows when someone feels unheard or dismissed. Don't nobody want to be dismissed. Who want to be dismissed? I don't want to be dismissed. Don't dismiss me. Defensiveness, contempt, these are all the things that can make or break a relationship. Defensiveness and having contempt. Now, we're not doing none of that. None of it. So we got 4 minutes, guys. I hope that this information, I know I probably went all around the river bend like I always do. But you know what? At the end of the day, I hope that everybody got some good information. And if the people that's on live, y'all probably have relationships, y'all do have relationships, and y'all already know the drill and know what's going on. But this is for the people who are seeking to find healthy relationships. And these are just some of the things that you can apply so that you can gain a healthy relationship. So we're going to get back to the basics, guys. Yes, Joy, I got you. 6 minutes. 6 minutes that you fresh sure on. All right. But we're going to go back to the basics, and we need to go back to the basics. We need to go here. Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe. Pick a box, right? We need to go back to the basics. Also, you guys, in a whole relationship, but still took in another banger. Oh, I love you, sis. Thank you so very much. I'm grateful for that. I wanted to remind you guys that at the root of it, shirts are on sale now. $20. I need 25 people to order so that I can place the order. So if you would like to purchase and support at the root of it, by all means, please, 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 you can email me at ATROI. Hello, little mama. ATROI community at gmail.com. Please support the vision. We have been 2 years and we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep talking about the things that we need to talk about. We're going to come off the relationship or our single series at the end of this month, and then we're going to dive into something more. But please, if you would like to support, please email ATROI community at gmail.com, and I will get you an invoice out. So I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. They are $20 a shirt, and it will help at the root of it. And you will wear the beautiful shirt. I love them. I have one. And I have thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. Oh, you're gonna do it too, little mama? It is capital ATROI community at gmail.com if you would like to support at the root of it. So we're going out as usual with the sneaker commercial. I'm actually going to do the affirmations. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is at the root of it. It does not cost you a thing. Just click the button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and you'll see when I'm coming on live every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you long time. We have a guided meditation, 15-minute meditation. It is your daily pick you up. It's not for you to go to sleep because it has some music behind it, but it's just something for you to pick you up throughout the day to make you feel better. Yes, I am. I will be adding some new affirmations, and that will be coming soon. But there's new sneakers coming soon. So till we meet again, guys, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all to life. And please, again, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. I love you. See you next week. Same bat station, same bat time. And love you. Later.
Subscribe to At the Root of It on
Welcome
YouTube.
to At the Root of It's affirmation for the day. Please sit in a quiet place so that you can free your mind and speak positivity over you. Relax your mind, sit in a quiet space, and release all anxiety, stress, decisions, anything that is hindering you.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else in life.